Children, Good morning, Boneville community. So good. We are meeting back here in the jungle while we're still dealing with our distancing and stuff like that instead of at the Seafront Inn. And the reason why is even right now, the reason why we're meeting here is with this amount of people, we wouldn't be able to meet at Seafront right now. They would shut us down. We just can't do it. That is our home. We'll continue to meet there. We're even looking at different options of what we're going to do as we expand, as we get bigger. How do we accommodate it? And so that is why we're back here, and we'll touch on some of that stuff in a little bit more on some things that are going on and these little subtleness attacks that take place all the time. But we're not about that. What we need to be about all the time is Jesus. We need to be focused on who Jesus is, what Jesus is doing. It's his kingdom, and he asks us to partner with him to advance it as his children. So as we move forward, a lot of times what's happening in the world right now is total distraction. And what it wants you to do is it wants you to not look at Jesus. The devil's a lie. He doesn't want you to look at Jesus. He wants you to look at everyone else, find fault with everyone else, let your emotions overtake you. And when I say emotion, I mean your ego. We have to learn as people to check your ego at the door. Ego is what gets you killed. Ego is what gets you in arguments. There's just a lot to it. So we need to, as followers of Jesus, to check our ego, recognize the beauty of God's creation, but not take our eyes off of Jesus, but look at issues and situations and say, Jesus, how do you want it fixed?
Amen.
How do you want it fixed? And not get caught up in the distractions and love. And so we are going to continue to talk about Jesus. We're going to continue to talk about how good he is and what he wants and the goodness for you. There's so much. I mean, even now, I get, last week I was inundated with questions. And it bothered me. And I'm not bothered me. I don't mean that it was bothering in a way that I'm annoyed at people. But it bothered me that the topic is this. Last week I got a lot of DMs that said, do Black lives matter or do all lives matter? And I'm thinking, well, both. Both. But the question is, you're trying to get me to pick a side. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to pick a side. I already picked a side. I picked the side of Jesus, who everyone matters. And it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Chinese, Spanish, it doesn't matter. You understand? And then, okay, but your silence is violence. No, you want to see violence? I'll show you violence. My silence sometimes is a direct response to your foolishness. Because I don't want to pick a side. I picked a side a long time ago, and that's humanity. That all men and women can come to know Jesus Christ and be set free regardless of who they are. That's who I side with. I side with Jesus. And it's enough battle. I don't know about you guys, but it's a hard enough battle for me to deal with my personal emotions and likes and dislikes than to all of a sudden have people start to dictate to me. You know what I mean? And the more that happens, the more frustrated people get. And so you want to get right again? Take your eyes and go, okay, Jesus, what do you want? I told a friend of mine this week, I started doing this about 3 weeks ago, is I got into this thing. We'll get right into it, get to worship. I need to share this with you because I think it's important for all of us as body, as followers of Jesus. In reading a book, and I recommend this book to all of you, it's called The Beautiful Outlaw. And in the book it says, he challenged me. He said, so many people say, we know Jesus, I follow Jesus, and all this stuff, but you really don't know him. Because if you really were in a relationship with Jesus, and then he asks this question, when you get up in the morning, do you say, good morning, Jesus? And so I started doing that 3 weeks ago. Every morning I get up and I go, Lisa will hear me. Sometimes she pops her head in. What did you say? Because I open my eyes and I say, good morning, Jesus. Good morning. And I'm waiting I want to hear the audible voice of him say, good morning back. But I know he's there because I'll look out. Like this morning, I said, good morning, Jesus. And then I got up and I was kind of talking to myself. I said, man, I haven't even heard from you today. I didn't hear you today. I looked out the window and they're buzzing around in the trees. Sounds crazy. I can be soft too, but they're buzzing around in the trees. Were hummingbirds. And then I sat down to finalize some studying and I was like, that's so good, Jesus. And then a reflection on my phone was sitting on the window